Hi everyone, my name is Ehsan, and in this video I'm going to talk about the authorship in research paper. And if we go through the list of the videos that I have created so far, this is video number 17. These days we barely can find any paper that has only one author. Usually people work together and there are different parts of any project that, some groups can do it better. Sometimes you do some research that requires you to work with other people in other fields to have a very comprehensive research, right? Here I'm showing you one example, the authors of that paper with the affiliations that they have. Now the question is, what's the rule for the authorship order in a research paper? Who comes first and then the next and all the way to the last person? I would say there is no specific rule in this case. It really depends on the lab policy and your PI and the country that you are working in. In some countries, they want the PI, the person who runs the lab, to be the first, or in some countries, it really doesn't matter. The common practice in the US is the person who worked the most is going to be the first author, and that person is the person who worked a lot on that research paper, did all the experiments, the bench chemistry that he has done, and the corresponding author and the PI is going to be the last. So here I'm going to show you one example that we published in chemical science. I'm the first author, and then we have my PI, the last person, and the corresponding author for this paper. So the corresponding author is basically the point of contact when you submit a paper, and it's going to differentiate it by an asterisk next to his or her name, in this case here. And this is just a point of contact for the editor if there is any question or there is any back and forth between the authors and the editor. So that's the person. But this is really a topic that we can talk about a lot, and there might be some people that do not agree with this, but the first and the last person in a research paper are the one that are the most important one. The first one does the most or the majority of the work, and the last is whoever came with the idea, runs the lab, gets the funding and everything. It are these two people. And everything in between, I'm not gonna say they haven't worked. They did work, but not as much as these two people. So this is where you want to be very careful when you start to do your research. You want to know whether you are the first author or the second or the third when a project passes to you, and it's better to make it clear with your PI before starting doing any research. You don't want to get surprised when you finish the project and then the PI will gonna say, all right, you're gonna be the second person in this article that you are not agree with. If you know it beforehand, you know how much effort you need to put in, how much the other people should put in. So it's just make it clear. I think being clear in this space before starting the research is the key. If you finish it, if you just assume you are going to be the first author, you might get disappointed at the end. So it's better to fight first and make this clear with your PI. And to be honest, being the first author is something that you earn. You have worked on this project. Your PI knows the amount of research that you have done, the report that you have done weekly, and everything else, you earn it. It's not they are going to give it to you. And I think this is something that you need to discuss with your PI before starting your project. There might be some cases that the two authors have done equal work, and that's a decision for your PI. Here I'm showing you one example. For instance, the first two authors in this paper have done equal work, and they have shown as some specific character here, and then these two also worked the same. And the PI is the person who decides on who worked how much and put these equal signs on next to their names. And lastly, I like to talk about the science celebrities, like those big names in a research paper that can change the decision that the editor makes when they want to publish a paper. It's unfortunately a sad news, because even if you do a really good and comprehensive research, sometimes if you are in the beginning of your career, they are gonna reject your paper because you are a new person into this field. And collaboration makes a huge difference. If you collaborate with a big name, you are gonna start that momentum. That's just reality, and it usually happens in the beginning of your career. If you started doing a research, and later on you are gonna be the big name if you put too much effort in your field. This is just something that I want to share with you about like having a science celebrity name in your paper. And this is the end of this video. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about the keywords for your research paper. See you in the next one.